Yesterday, and perhaps due to the heavy rains, I had a dream during my deep sleep. In the dream, Kenyans came to me and sent me to the President of the Republic of Kenya. They wanted me to share with the President the problems they are facing. But we all agreed, I and them, that will be such a heavy burden, I may not be able to carry that burden. I will not even be able to start the journey. So some wise old man, I remember his name was Joseph Kimayo. Kimayo suggested that we summarize all the problems into one. Perhaps just reduce it to a demand or a question. After a lot of deliberations, we agreed that there's one question I will deliver to the President of the Republic of Kenya. Even though it was one, it was so heavy that by the time I arrived at State House, I was not only sweating, but I was almost collapsing under the weight of that one question. And the question, which on behalf of the people of this country, I deliver to the President of the Republic of Kenya, is, Mr. President, why are you making it so difficult for people to love you? Why are you making it so difficult for those who love you? The people have told me that they love the President. They love the President so much that, contrary to those who think that Ruto will lose the election in 2027, contrary to that, the truth indeed is that if elections were held today, President William Samoei Ruto will not only win that election, but will do so handsomely. And therefore, for 2027, it goes without saying that because the people love the President, they will vote for him. Anybody who thinks otherwise is free to do so. In fact, they are justified to think so. Looking at the pain around, one would easily conclude that the President will not be voted for in 2027. But the barometer we used during this dream, and my knowledge of this country, even in moments when I'm not asleep, leave alone when I'm not dreaming, when I'm awoke, as young people would say, I know despite the challenges we face, despite the problems we face, the people of this country would still vote for William Samoei Ruto. So this is evidence of love. And they have asked me, why is the President making it so difficult for them to love him? Because they do love him. I understand and I feel the people. Because if you have a child, you love that child. If the child engages in activities that are bad, and this is for children, young people, you hurt those who love you more than you hurt yourself. When you engage in excesses, if you're a young man, because your parents love you, you hurt them so much. There is no hurt that's more painful than the hurt those who love you go through. The pain of being hurt by somebody you love is terrible. That's why some people divorce. Sometimes they discover something about somebody they have loved all their life, and they cannot live with it. And therefore, the people, I understand and feel them when they say they love the President. But it's becoming increasingly difficult to continue loving that President. A number of things make it difficult. Look at fake fertilizer. Look at fake maize seed. And this is already being felt. Apart from the physically polluted stuff being called fertilizer with stones and other things inside, what appears to be good fertilizer is actually, in some instances, bad. I received a report yesterday from my workers. They told me the maize we planted, I'm a small person, I used maybe 10 kilos of DAP, and this came from the cereals board. One side, one bag, it was good. The other side, the fertilizer wasn't good, or the maize seed, whichever, I think is the fertilizer. The people are finding it difficult to love their president with all these fake things around them. Fake exams, by the admission of the ministry. The minors, the A minors, was not possible in the system. There are people who got grades that were not theirs. Fake alcohol. People have drunk alcohol. I don't drink. People have taken alcohol all their lives. We know it from even the holy books. But when we allow people to sell fake, lethal alcohol, we are becoming a fake country. So what is destroying people in Mount Kenya? And I laud Rigathi Gachagua for the effort to fight alcohol and alcoholism. What is destroying the young people, especially in Mount Kenya, and increasing even in Western, where I come from, is not just that they are taking alcohol. It is fake alcohol, not even cheap alcohol. Let's stop using words like second generation alcohol. This is dangerous, lethal, fake alcohol, killing our children. Today in Western Kenya, it is coming from a neighboring country. Lethal. We are becoming a fake country. It is bad. The pain, therefore, is difficult. Look at the doctor strike. People are watching loved ones die. People are carrying patients in terrible conditions from public hospitals to try and see if they could engage them elsewhere in private hospitals. Because of doctor strike. The government signed a CBA with the doctors. The government agreed. Governors agreed. The Minister of Health agreed. There is evidence. It went through court. Now we turn against our own children. While still on health, people are losing loved ones because we are slow on preventive health. Missionary hospitals, we've heard from missionary hospitals, faith-based hospitals, they are not receiving payments from NHIF, and the burden is becoming too much for them. And they handle a significant number of patients from the Republic of Kenya. The people are finding difficulty under these circumstances to express and to continue loving their president. The tax burden in this country. It is difficult. However much you try to love your president, something brings you down. Something begins to affect that love for the president. NHIF going up. NSSF up. Housing levy. A levy everybody is against. Pain everywhere. Increase in charges, ID, passport. Missionaries are complaining. They bring expatriates. They bring missionaries. They are paying from 15,000 to 150,000. Some are saying up to 500,000. The government is in a hurry to collect taxes. And this is hurting the economy. It is hurting the people who love the president. It's affecting their love for the president. Because I want to repeat this. The people love the president. I know there are many people who don't love the president. But there are enough Kenyans who love the president for the president to be elected tomorrow and in 2027. He's hurting these people who love him. Education. People love the president. But our education is becoming bad and bad by the day. This animal called CBC. I know a thing or two about education. I've been in the education sector all my life. Yet I do not understand what CBC means. At some point during his campaign, the president promised he's going to abolish this CBC. Something happened and I don't blame him. People change. And he said, no. Let's just move on CBC. University education is becoming too expensive. We are told there's a new funding model. But the truth, and it affects the love people have for their president. The truth is, for the first time, and I'm speaking as a person who works within the university. The truth is, for the first time, we are beginning to have a significant number of students admitted to university not taking up their positions. Anybody can check this. Minister Macho can check. Vice chancellors can deny or say it's true. For the first time. It used to be that if we admit 2,000 students in our universities, maybe 10 or 5, 10 at most 15, maybe somebody is unwell, completely unwell, they can't take up their position. Their parents have relocated from this country. Some girl is married to a man who thinks he can take care of her. They were insignificant in number. Today, the number of students not taking up university admission because of money, because of fees, is statistically insignificant. And we have to take care about this. The pain of the economy, the cost of living, all these things make it difficult for the people of this country to continue loving their president. And yet they love their president. I'm repeating, they love their president. To the disappointment of those who think he's not popular, the president can be re-elected tomorrow. And they will be re-elected in 2027. But the president is making it difficult for people. We appoint bad ambassadors. We not only disappoint those career diplomats who are bypassed, we not only bring shame to ourselves by taking people to stations like the one we took to Goma, who doesn't know what GDP is, think is the population of the country, to that who went to Washington, D.C. and other places. We love them. They are our Kenyans, but they are not fit for those jobs. We embarrass ourselves before our friends. We have friends outside here from other countries. They love us. They love our president. But when we give them ambassadors, we are testing their love for us.
The current population and the escalation of the population in that country. So GDP generally is the population of a country.
So it's difficult. You take somebody as an ambassador and the host country is just embarrassed. But they love you. They just don't know how to tell you. Look at the church. The church loves the president. This was demonstrated during the campaigns. The church was a strong pillar in the president's campaign. The church stood with the president even at bombers. Today, the same church is telling the president, you are making it difficult for your people. Listen to your people. The church is saying you are making it difficult not just for your people, but for us who love you. The Catholic Church has come and asked the president, listen to your people. PCA, the moderator has spoken. Listen to your people. Listen the burden for your people. ACK of the infamous Sapiti at Bomas, even he too is saying, listen to your people, Mr. President. It is not good to hurt people generally. But it's even more serious to hurt those who love you. Because they must continue loving you and voting for you, like I've said. It is much so painful for them that they must continue loving you, yet you continue occasion the pain you are occasioning for them and to them. Look at MPs. The MPs supported the president. They campaigned for the president. But he had to tell them in Naivasha, you people, I know you don't want to support this housing thing. It is true the MPs didn't want. It is true the MPs knew the Finance Act was going to pain Kenyans. But the president told them, when we campaign with you, we promise Kenyans these things. But the MPs are saying, we are now seeing, we are feeling the people. We are on the ground. Again, the president is making it difficult for these MPs because they may reach a point where they have to abandon the president they love. And therefore, my advice to the president, don't make it difficult. Don't even make it difficult for people like Rigathi Gachagua. Because just like Raila carried the burden of Uhuru's burden, the burden of being close to Uhuru, where now people said everything bad about the government was caused by Uhuru and Raila, by BBI, by all those things. Raila paid the price of associating with Uhuru. And with hindsight, people like Rigathi Gachagua are beginning to see perhaps that as we stick with the president, we are most likely to pay the price. Because I've said the people love the president. They can vote for him today. They will vote for him in 2027. But after 2027, the pain will now be so obvious that by association, people like Rigathi Gachagua will pay the price. And therefore, because it will be very painful for people like Gachagua to abandon a government they were part and parcel of, to abandon a person they love, they work with, they respect, the easier option for the president is to make it less difficult for people to love him. I urge the president to reconsider some of the things, some of the policies, some of the tax measures. And above all, I urge the president, as a sign of showing he feels the people, and as a sign of restoring hope, which is diminishing, if not lost, I urge the president to reconstitute his government. That will be a sign to the people of Kenya that the president feels them, he loves them, he knows they are suffering, he feels their pain. Reconstitute government. Imagine the pain of having Nakumicha as not just a cabinet secretary, but a cabinet secretary in such a critical docket like health, with all the pain that Kenyans are going through because of the strike. Nakumicha at the head of the ministry. Imagine the fake fertilizer and maize seed. Imagine the pain and suffering farmers are going through in this country. To have Linturi as a cabinet secretary. I will address the president directly, Mr. President. Lessen the burden. Let go of the pain. Listen to your people. They cannot all be wrong. And if you didn't listen to your people, if you didn't know your people were pained, begin to listen to those close to you who are now not only questioning you, but in due course may depart you. Listen to the church. Listen to MPs from Kenya Kwanza. Listen to close friends. And if you listen well and carefully, Mr. President, you realize a lot is going on wrong in this country. And the power to correct what's going wrong in this country is within your hands. And as a Christian, Mr. President, I want to remind you, the good Lord says, I've given you leadership, as indeed leaders come from God. I've given you leadership, but take care of my people. Mr. President, take care of the people God has given you to lead.